welcome back to the homestead. And if you guys are new around here, my husband and I live off grid. That means without any public utilities. We live off 100% off of rainwater. We grow about 90% of our food. So welcome. And today what I wanted to talk to you guys about is about this 60-year-old's 7 superfoods that I eat every single day to keep my immune system strong. So stay tuned. I get questions all the time, and they always ask, what do I eat to help my immune system stay strong? I get that question and comment a lot. So today I wanted to kind of go over these 7 foods that I try to add in my diet on a daily basis. So these are things that I have used for years, and they're tried and true, and I know personally they work for myself and my husband when my grandkids are here, so I know they are very helpful. I'm just going to give you just kind of a brief synopsis of each one of these and kind of go over them and let you know and talk about the health benefits of each one and try not to make it too lengthy. Okay, let's get started. So the very first one that I wanted to talk about is herbs and teas. Now there are hundreds that I could go over with you right now, but I'm going to give you Stacy's top 3 that I use all the time. And the first superfood that I'm going to add to my regimen, my daily regimen, is ginger root. So here is the actual, it's a rhizome. This would be the fresh form, so if you're going to make stir fries or cook with it, you can do it that way, or in the dried form like this. This has been dehydrated, the roots have been dehydrated, so you can use it this way. Now, ginger has been relied upon over the past 3,000 years for its anti-inflammatory benefits. So the neat thing I like about ginger is when you add ginger to another herb, it makes it more effective. So when I use ginger, I always will put it with something else. It's sort of like they're little helpers. They help one another to make it be more powerful. And the best way for me to get it in is through teas. So when you make an infusion, basically I'm gonna use these things. I'm gonna put my ginger root or whatever I'm putting it with in an infuser, and then I make it into a tea. Many people, if you don't have access to this stuff, you can find ginger tea and different teas at the store, and they're very powerful because when they get heated up, it's really going to enhance all the nutrients in there as it's steeping, and then you're getting that benefit in your body. Now, along with ginger, the next one that I want to talk about is in my number 2 is lemon balm. Lemon balm is a perennial. It can grow pretty much anywhere. You can grow it in a pot on your deck. You can grow it, in your yard as a perennial. It will come back every single year. Now, lemon balm is considered, it's an antiviral. So studies have also shown with lemon balm that it has the ability to block viruses from entering your cells. So that's something very interesting to know, especially in this day and age with lots of viruses running around. And I use it every single night. I drink it every night mixed in with some ginger. I have it because it's good to help relax you, reduce anxiety and stress, helps your mood. It just really cuts the edge off. It helps me sleep better. And that is something all of us need. Your sleep is so important for you, of course. And a lot of us are dealing with stress and anxiety. So this is something that I think everyone should probably be adding into their day-to-day life. So this is one that I use every single night. Doug and I have it in our tea every single night. Now the last one I want to talk about under my teas and herbs section, my top 3, is called nettle. Nettle, or stinging nettle. It is, a lot of people might call it a weed. It's out in the wild. This is like a superhero. This thing has got so much to it and can offer you so much. For women, it's wonderful because it does have a lot of iron in it, as well as it's good for women who are having like premenstrual type symptoms like bloating and like heavy menstrual cycles. So it is good for women too. As well as for men, it's wonderful for the prostate, of your health of your prostate. As well as it's wonderful for your immune system. So the cool thing is it stimulates the T cells in the body to help fight off infection. So if I'm looking at making a tea, maybe in the morning or in the afternoon or at night, I could go ahead and do a little nettle, a little ginger root, a little lemon balm, mix them together. Because remember, when you mix the ginger with any of your teas, let's say you're having peppermint tea or whatever, it's going to just enhance and pull out the other benefits of the herb that you're putting it with. So those are my top 3 big ones. So my second superfood are farm fresh eggs. Eggs are a superfood. They are amazing. It is like a complete food pretty much. They're very, very high in protein, but not all eggs are created equal here. So these eggs here are eggs that I have from my chickens, and they are free range, pasture raised. They run around and they're getting the sunlight, they're eating seeds and bugs, and they're getting all those wonderful vitamins, and that's what you're getting in the egg. So look at your source. So when you're buying eggs, and if you need to go to the grocery store, do not buy a conventionally raised egg, because you're not going to get near the amount of nutrients as you are from a pasture raised organic type egg. So when you look at an egg, they're very, very easy to get, of course, and they're easily to digest. So they're very bioavailable for the body. When you get older, you can't absorb your nutrients quite as well. And this is something, it's a great source for you to be able to absorb your vitamins easier. Now, I know when I eat eggs, I feel so much better. So when you are eating an egg, especially in the morning, if you're gonna have it for breakfast, like in the morning, if you eat a very high carbohydrate type breakfast where you just maybe had pancakes and you're not having any type of protein, you're gonna feel very lethargic and very tired, and it's gonna set yourself for the rest of the day. So if you're very insulin resistant, having insulin problems, diabetes or anything, if you eat an egg, it's not gonna raise your insulin levels at all. You can eat it, you're gonna feel full, you're gonna feel satisfied for much longer to get you to the next meal. And it is a great way to start your day. So eggs are an excellent superfood to add to your diet. Now my third superfood that I have in my diet every single day is I add some type of fermented food into my diet. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be one kind. That's why I like to have a variety. And then that way, you don't get bored, you don't get tired. Like say, here's some of my spicy sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's made from cabbage. Every vegetable or fruit that you're gonna use has all these little microorganisms on it. It's like this little happy ecosystem. And what happens is when you ferment it, those microorganisms turn into really good, friendly, happy bacteria. And then in our digestive tract, we have trillions of bacteria just running around in there. We have good ones and bad ones. Unfortunately, in this day and age, many of us have more bad ones than good, and that's when people start having illnesses and sickness and disease. So by adding a little fermented food into my diet, it's gonna add a lot more of those happy, good bacteria into my gut, and that's gonna help in turn with digestibility, because when you ferment the food, it makes it much more bioavailable and easier to digest. It enhances the vitamins that you're getting, especially like vitamin B vitamins. And then when you look at sauerkraut, sauerkraut is just amazing. Let's say you had a head, and I'm not exact on this, but I'm kind of around the right amount. But like a head of cabbage, or if you had like a cup of cabbage, it might be 80 milligrams of vitamin C. But then if you ferment it, it could go to like 700 milligrams. I think I feel better. I'm a happier person when I eat my fermented foods, and especially my sauerkraut. But then I add a variety. So maybe for breakfast, I might have a little sauerkraut, a spoonful with my eggs. Maybe for lunch, I'm gonna have a little bit of kombucha. If I'm gonna have dinner, maybe I haven't had any fermented foods, I make fermented mustard and ketchup. I might put that on my burger. Okay, here is some homemade yogurt. Yogurt is a wonderful probiotic fermented food also. So I might use yogurt as a sauce. I could put that on top of something I'm eating, or maybe I'll eat it with, I'll have some yogurt with some berries. So I'm adding some type of fermented food, maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times a day into my diet. You don't want to have a whole lot, tablespoon or 2. You don't need very much, because it's very powerful, wonderful for your immune system and your total overall health. So number 3 is fermented foods. And for you guys that have been waiting so patiently long, I wrote a fermenting cookbook. It is almost done, and it'll be out very shortly, so you can stay tuned for that too. Here comes number 4. So number 4 is ghee. Ghee is basically what they call clarified butter. So you're going to take your butter and you are going to separate the milk solids by heating them up, putting them in the oven. Some people put them in a pan, and then the casein and the lactose are going to separate, and it's going to give you a pure butter oil. And this pure butter oil is amazing, because the one thing that I think is so unique about it it is really absorbed right away into the body. So usually a lot of times when you have different fats, you'll go ahead and it'll store as a fat. But this is generally just goes right into the body and you use it right for your energy. So it does give you energy. I even use this on my skin. I did a whole video on it. You guys can check it out. I use it in my hair. You can use it as a oil pulling in your mouth. I mean, I love the way my skin feels. And ghee is also good to help balance your hormones. It's very healing. It's also good for your heart. It's a healthy fat for your heart. And it has something called butyric acid, which is excellent for your digestive tract. So it's very good for your digestion, helping with that, healing your digestive tract if you're having any type of like digestive ailments, and it helps you stay regular. And ghee is my choice. I probably use this more than any other type of fat or oil around, besides extra virgin olive oil. So I'll say ghee is for me. All right, we're on number 5. And what do you think? Garlic. It's garlic. Most of you guys know the healing properties of garlic. I mean, if you live under a rock, maybe you don't know, but garlic is just amazing. It gets its pungent, that sulfury kind of smell that you know that it's garlic from a compound. It's called allicin. And allicin needs to be activated, and let me show you. Because a lot of people will go ahead and get their garlic and then they'll just use it right away. It's really important, like I'm gonna put it in my garlic press, when you crush it, like so, see? Ah, I just shot you. You wanna let it sit out 10 minutes or so when it's sitting out. So like I like to put my crushed garlic over my salads. I usually will put 3 or 4 cloves. I will crush them and put them in my salads, and then I just let it sit there for a while till we're ready to eat it, and that'll activate that super allicin that's in it that gives you all that antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral properties, helping with your immune system with the garlic. So that's why I add it to all my salads. Every single day I have a big salad, and so that's what I always put on it. I put my raw garlic on it, and then that way I don't have to worry about when am I gonna get my garlic, because I know that's part of it. Or if I'm making homemade salad dressing, I'll go ahead and put a few cloves in there, and I try to use it in its raw form. And I do cook with it, but mostly I try to make sure I get some type of my raw garlic every day. And along with it, makes your food taste amazing. All right, we're on number 6. And my number 6 superfood is cruciferous vegetables, which would be including your broccoli, your kale, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, your radishes, things like that. But I'm gonna go a step further, and I'm gonna talk about those things in a sprout form, in sprouts. Particularly something we call broccoli sprouts. Now broccoli sprouts, and I guess any cruciferous vegetable, it's going to contain this kind of a super, like a nutrient called glucoraphanin. In glucoraphanin, what happens is once it's chewed or it's chopped, it turns into something called sulforaphane. And sulforaphane is like the super nutrient in, like, especially in the broccoli sprouts, because it's very, very concentrated in the broccoli. You're gonna get sulforaphane in all of your cruciferous vegetables, but when you get it in a sprout, it is concentrated like 100 times. You're gonna get so much more out of it. So this is something that I like to really add to, like if I'm gonna make a smoothie, or I'm gonna put it in my salad. But it's really important for you to really get the sulforaphane. You have to chew it up really good or blend it up really good. So make sure, if you're one of those people who don't chew your food very well, you're not gonna get all the benefits of the sulforaphane. So I like to make my sprouts. I'm just starting this one, as you can see. I just soaked it a little bit. And I'm gonna need to rinse it again. But you can get them in about 4 days. It's so simple. You just need a glass jar and some seeds and some water, and it's very simple to do, especially in the winter months when I'm not growing things in my garden. I really like to sprout because it's simple. You don't need any room. And even for you guys that don't have a garden and wish you did, sprouting is a simple first step, because you're gonna get so much more from the small sprouts than you are from the actual grown plant. But still eat your grown plants too, because they're still good for you. And you know how your parents always say, make sure you eat your veggies? Well, most of these studies have showed that people that did eat their cruciferous vegetables actually live longer too. All right, we made it. We're on number 7, and this is one of my, I think, big keys to good health for me in particular. And I always say, you know, prevention is the key to your health. You know, you want to kind of take it in charge. You want to be proactive before something bad happens. So that's why I'm trying to add all these things that we're talking about into our diet, just to help so nothing will happen. So the last one I want to talk about is your dark leafy greens. So that would include like arugula, collard green, mustard greens, beet greens, which I just love. So a lot of people grow their beets and their turnips too, turnip greens, and they don't utilize them. These greens are great to be cooked, sauteed in a fat, because that's going to help you to digest them better and absorb them better, make them more bioavailable. And then kale is another one, which is a total superfood, but make sure if you are buying it that you are getting kale that is organic. Grow it yourself or buy organic, because regular conventional kale is so high in the pesticide loads. It's in like the top 3. Strawberries are number 1. Or spinach, strawberries, and then kale. They're like, it's like 1, 2, 3. It's just really terrible. So make sure you're getting organic. But these leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, add them to your diet. You know, I make like a bulk bowl, and then I'll put lots of other vegetables. If it's maybe put radishes and tomatoes and onions, I put my garlic in there. If you have some nuts or seeds, you can put them in there and just make it really nutrient dense. And that way you're going to get a lot of wonderful vitamins. Remember, all these wonderful vibrant colors are going to be healthy for you. But especially these leafy greens, they're loaded. What color are they? They're green. They're filled with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is life. So as Mom says, eat your greens, because they are good for you. And you can do them both ways. If some of you can't tolerate it so much, maybe it causes some digestive problems, then go ahead and maybe you can make some of these greens and saute them with a little, you know, butter or oil, and that'll work too. But try to get those greens in every day. And raw is good, so try to eat as much raw as you can. So these are just a few, probably my top 7 that I do eat every single day, just to add to my immune system, add to my overall health. And I would love to hear from you guys. What is your go-to thing that you like to use for your health? Leave a comment below, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. See you later. Did you guys know that in the 16, 17, and 1800s, chocolate was consumed as a beverage? There was no such thing as a chocolate candy bar. Well, we're bringing chocolate tea back to the 21st century because it's loaded with antioxidants our body loves, and it's a great source of magnesium that's wonderful for bone and heart health. It's a great addition to your coffee machine or your French press, or just along with your favorite sweetener. You can find it on offgridwithdougandstacy.com, along with our brand new tea infuser, simple to use for easy steeping. Cheers!